Hey guys, this is Karina.
And I'm Pebbles. And this is Divine Connections.
Welcome back to another episode. This is 2025.
2025.
And we are back. Today, our episode is sponsored by Belmonte Media,
Soul Supply Company, and Pebbles Tattoos.
Yes. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. What's up? My name is Jeff from Echosworlds. And thank you for the invite.
Yeah, today
Yes,
we
thank
wanted
you.
to have Echo on the show because we wanted to talk about his career and what got him to where he's at today. So I do want to just start by giving the audience like a little bit about yourself, maybe like a brief introduction of where you come from.
Sure. I'm born and raised Angelino from the San Fernando Valley. Just a well-rounded filmmaker. Been doing this for quite some time now, 10 plus years, probably a little longer than that. But behind the camera, about 10 years.
So where do your parents come from, Echo? Like, where's your family?
My parents are Central American. My mom's Salvadoreña, and my dad's Guatemalteco.
Oh, okay.
I was raised more on the Guatemalan side
Okay.
of things, but born and raised right here.
Perfect. So what got you to pick up a camera? Because that really struck my curiosity. Like, when did it start? Was it since you were young or?
Necessity.
Yeah?
Yeah. No, I used to do graphics. I was a graphic designer for a company, and we used to do flyers for clubs, and we used to promote the clubs in Hollywood, and it was very difficult for me to find, like, you know, because they want put girls on the flyer, you know. So it got to the point where it's like I got tired of looking for pictures online, so I just started taking my own pictures from that, and from that it just evolved from, you know, eventually buying my own camera and just practicing.
So that's what you started off with? First was photography?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I started with photography.
And how did it evolve to videography? Was that years later down?
Oh yeah, it didn't. I didn't really get into actually filming with the camera until after I got out of the army.
Oh, wow. You were in the
So
Army.
before I, like, when I started with graphic design, like, I thought that's what I wanted to do. You know, like, I learned it. My dad was very like trying to get into computers and stuff like that. So I just I wasn't too fond into it, but I liked drawing. I was
Did
never
you go
a
to
really
college
good
for that?
artist. No,
No? Oh, wow.
just
You
learned
picked
it.
up.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was never really a good artist, like a drawer.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I can do shit on the computer. You know, with graphics, with clip arts.
Like Photoshop?
Uh-huh.
Oh, cool.
I started off with CorelDRAW, which I don't know
I've
if-
seen that, yeah.
yeah, or Paint. I don't know if you remember.
Oh, yeah, really?
Yeah,
Cool.
Paint with, like, drawing with the pixels and all that.
That's really awesome.
Like, my dad used to give me homework to do that kind of, like, draw this house.
How old were you at that time?
Super young, like 9, 10. I started around there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then, like, you know, after I graduated high school, like I said, I was out trying to look for a job, and I got this job as a graphic designer. I didn't know. I actually lied on my resume. You know, I was like, yeah, I've been doing this for years. No, that was literally my first job. And like
I mean,
said,
technically, you had been doing it for years.
yeah, right?
How old were you?
18.
Oh,
When I
18.
got that job, yeah. And then from there, like I said, you know, like, we were doing these flyers, and I just I got tired of using other people's stuff, so I just started shooting my own. Like I said, it was a necessity. Funny story. My boss one day, you know, like I said, I was just a graphic designer. Like, my job wasn't to shoot or anything like that, and my boss was a real dick. He came one day, like, I was showing up to work, and he was like, "Hey, my photographer canceled. I need you to take these pictures." And I was like, "Well, I'm not a photographer. Like, I'm the graphic designer. Like, my job is be behind this desk." And he's like, "Well, if you don't shoot, you're fired." So,
Wow.
so like, from that,
Hey, that's
you know,
kind of good, though, man. It pushed you.
yeah,
you were
right.
young and you
So
were
from
like,
that,
"Yeah,
you know,
I'm gonna do
he
my
gave me
boss."
this camera to go shoot, and I brought him, and he never called that guy again. So now I got stuck doing all the photography at that company. Flash forward years later, you know, I had like this camera that I had bought when I was young, and I just started using that and just experimenting with taking pictures of anything and everything. And then it just evolved to what I do now.
What kind of camera did you first pick up?
I had a Canon Rebel.
So
Yeah.
some Canon
A little
shots.
brown one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been Canon ever since. I've tried shooting on Sonys and Nikons, and
Not the same?
not the same. Yeah.
You mentioned that you went to the military. You stopped your doing photography for...
Yeah, after night. Well, I've had a wide range of different careers.
Oh, okay.
As, like, you know, graphic design. I worked for Nextel for a while. I was a waiter. That didn't last too long.
Nextel was a phone company.
It was
right?
a phone, the chirps.
Yeah.
And then I was
Where you at? Where you at?
I was just trying to learn, the ropes of, being an adult and trying to find work. And then after 9/11, that just geared me to like do something with my life. So I hated going to school. College sucked. My girlfriend had left me, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm going to go to the Army.
Wow.
So I went to the Army and did my time, got out. They paid for my school, so I decided to go to school, and that's where I really just got really into it. And I've always loved movies. I've always been a big movie head. So, but going to school really opened the doors for me to really see like what I really love and what I really want to do.
And what was the school for?
Yeah.
It was an art school.
Oh, art, cool.
I'm not going to name the name because the school sucked. It was complete.
Yeah.
It was complete garbage.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was an art school.
Yeah. But one thing that it did teach me was that the end of the possibility of myself, but the possibilities of meeting people that have the same interest that I did. Specifically vets. I never knew that vets were artistic.
Oh, really?
We just thought that we were just grunts. Just.
And what interested you in the Army? What interested you in doing a term for the?
My dad was a grunt.
So you came from like your childhood. You seen it growing up.
Yeah, my dad was a caibil. He was in the cuartel.
Yeah.
In Guatemala, and so he was always like
Guatemalan
a really
military.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he got into shit when he came into LA, and he kind of geared me into don't go towards the streets and try to get educated. And of course, we bumped heads, and I just wanted to at least fulfill something.
Did your parents come here when you were young, or?
No. They came here separately, and then they met.
Oh,
through divine,
cool.
through divine
Connections.
fate. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you grew up seeing your dad in the military, and what about your mom? What was it like growing up with your mom?
God bless my mom, man. She I mean, both my parents. But my mom was a really hard worker, as well as my grandmother. Like she lived with us, and they really taught me the value of hard work.
Yeah. So I wanted to give the audience just a little bit of like where you get your hard work.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like my mom was a housekeeper. I remember like my grandmother was a housekeeper. Like she would wake me up at 3:30 in the morning to get up to go with her because we had to take the bus. To some rich old lady's house to clean her house. So I remember being a kid and playing with other people's toys and or just like messing around with
other people's
houses. In other people's houses. I never understood what it was.
It's so normal to you.
Yeah, it was normal. And then through like while my dad was going to school and he got his life together, and that really just like taught me like hard work.
Sounds like
does
everybody
pay
in
off.
your family was striving.
Yeah. Hard workers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, there were knuckleheads too.
But the good thing was that you had
San
that
Fernando
model.
in the 80s, 70s, 80s. It was crazy. Yeah.
The good thing is you had those good role models in your house to kind of, show you a structure of, not just the street life, something else, hard work and where it could get you. So as you grew up, you went into graphic designs, and you said you worked for Nextel, and then you went into the service, right? How long did you stay in the service?
I did 4 years.
Wow.
I mean, your term is an 8-year term, your contract that you sign.
And where'd they send you when you were doing your term?
I served at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which is on the border of Tennessee and Kentucky, with the 101st Airborne, and then we got deployed to Ramadi, Iraq.
So you did some time in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
So
Wow, how was that?
It was like,
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
There's no way I can describe it.
Yeah.
War is crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when you got back, how old were you?
I was 25.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Still young?
Yeah, 25. Yeah, I was super young. Yeah, I joined at 21. So.
Then you went to college. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I didn't really go to school like immediately right after I
okay.
got out. Like I said, I was still trying to figure out like what am I gonna do now. I tried to, like I said, I tried to do a lot of things. It's like you're just misguided. Coming back from one world going into another.
Yeah.
So, but the camera's always been there.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
I wanted to tell stories, and I want to tell stories with a camera.
Did you take pictures serving your term by any chance?
I took some pictures. I didn't have a camera like that. I did have like a little snapshot camera that I think eventually it broke. And we would like share pictures between our platoon and stuff like that. But we didn't have the ability to do that kind of stuff. And then when we could take pictures, it was real fast. Just because we're in such a hot zone that we just didn't have time to do that kind of stuff.
Did the time go by fast for you out there?
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess at the time, it goes slow, but man, it still feels like yesterday.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And I deployed in 2005.
Wow.
So when you came back, what was your plan?
I didn't have a plan.
You just were like, man, whatever.
I didn't have a plan. Yeah, I thought I wanted to become a cop. That didn't work out.
Wow.
I went back into sales. That didn't really work out.
And the camera was right here on your right shoulder.
And the camera was always there, yeah. So, and thankfully my buddy that was a Marine, he got out. He went to the same school. He was like, hey, man, you got to go to school, bro. The GI Bill's about to hit. Take advantage of it. So I did. Yeah, and I started shooting my own shit. And then from going to school, I met somebody that got me into being on set, like come help me produce. And from there, I met Chino Grande and Midget Loco, and they were like, hey man, like you're dope. Like we just vibed. They're like, why don't you just come and shoot our music video?
Were those the first like famous people that you would?
That was my first
with?
music video that I ever did, was with Midget and Dolly Girl.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then from there, just like, I just started, just playing with the camera and trying to figure out, like what I really wanted to do. I started directing and stuff like that.
How was that first?
Wait, we want to play that. Let's see. We want to see your.
Yeah, go
we
for
want to see from what your work was to now. What was it called?
Man.
Oh yeah, that's a good.
Midget Loco,
cool.
you said?
Midget Loco is called Summer High.
Summer High. Let me see. We're about to see.
Right there.
This one?
Yep, right there.
Urban Kings?
Urban Kings.
Okay, cool.
Shout out to Urban Kings, my boy.
Cool. Let's see.
Yeah, shout out to Urban Kings. We're going to take a look at the first video that Echo had.
Brought to you by Domino's.
This is not
Ever.
it.
Don't judge.
Domino's will give you 40 points.
This is not the commercial. Not sponsored by Echo.
There's no sound.
But now there's no sound.
Yeah, first it was just the sound. Now it's no sound.
I mean, it still looks real good for your first one.
Yeah.
How'd you do the recording on the car like that?
We had a suction cup car mount.
Oh, so you were already prepared with that.
Oh, so the car was actually driving. It wasn't one of those,
I think we got it from like school.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I borrowed it from school. I borrowed a bunch of gear from school.
Okay, how did you get to know them again?
It was a movie that I was helping on.
Uh-huh.
What was it? Did you ever hear of Operation Repo? Operation
Oh,
Repo?
yeah. Uh-huh.
It was them. They
Oh,
were doing a movie, and
wow.
I was helping them produce on that, and then they brought them for a scene, and that's where I met them.
Oh, wow.
And they were like, come film for us.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
They were just
cool.
cool people. Yeah, they were dope.
Did you let them know it was going to be your first, or you didn't even?
I don't know. I don't remember
remember?
how the conversation went, but they were just, they were really dope. They introduced me to Jimmy, and then we just vibed.
So after that is when like your videography.
Yeah, so
career
like
took
I
off?
brought, I brought this to the Chicano world, like the Chicano music video world, and nobody was really doing this kind of shit, so
Came out really good for your first one.
it kept me busy,
I wouldn't have thought this was your first one.
It was my first one. Yeah, I can see it now. I was like, damn, that was kind of shitty.
Well, you know.
You criticize yourself, right? We're our biggest critics.
Yeah, I shot it on a 7D, on my first 7D that I had bought myself.
And what is that like? I'm sorry, because I'm not
A
familiar
Canon
with.
7D.
Oh, okay.
It was like one of the first like Canon cameras that you can record.
Oh, okay.
Not only take pictures, but you can record video on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was that cost back then for something like that?
I don't know, a few $1,000s.
Few
I think.
thousand?
I think it
Oh,
was
wow.
like 2,000,
Still.
something like that.
Okay.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I can't remember what it was.
Cool.
But yeah,
It still looks really good.
thank you, Letty Wong.
After this, where was your next big gig?
After this, I think I did Dolly Girl.
So you were working with a lot of Chicano rappers.
Yeah, I did Dolly Girl, and then after that I did Baby Jokes or Richard Carbrough.
Oh,
I did
wow.
that video. And then we did Summer Season, and then I did one for Chino Grande.
So basically, they passed the wire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like over here, this is where the videographer's at.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh.
That's Lyric. He was the one that produced the record. And it's funny too because actually no, he didn't produce it. It was David Salas is the one that produced it. But he wasn't available, so I was like, just use Lyric to that's the homie. You just put him in there and have him do the part.
Have him do the part. That's cool.
Yeah, Ceci B.
You said 2009.
And this is before the Chicano culture came back now, and everybody's into the whole lowrider.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it ever left. It's
Right.
always been there.
It wasn't as popular as it is now, I guess you
Yeah.
would say.
We had Four Locos sponsor it. Like I had them sponsor it.
Really?
Yeah,
Cool.
they sent us fucking like
How was that? They just
20
contact
case.
you?
I
Was
hit them
everybody
up.
all fucked up off our local? And then
Everybody. I mean, if you look at, I had Four Loco cans everywhere.
Everybody's
They sent
all
us
sweating.
they sent us like 20 cases of fucking.
was
Four
it
Locos.
really summertime
I think so. Yeah.
when you guys
I
are
think
shooting?
so, yeah.
Like out in the sun, the Four Locos.
Yeah.
Hey, look at,
I mean, look
you
at that.
Sweaty forehead.
You missed it. It was a big old table.
They sent me cases.
And that's when Four Loco had the ginseng in it.
Yep.
So how do you get Four Locos to sponsor? What did you do?
I just hit them up and say, hey, I'm doing a music video with these guys are popping, and they were like, yeah, sure, what's up?
Oh,
We'll set
There
it
are a
up
bunch
with
of
you.
locals. Here's some Four
Yeah.
Locals.
They sent me a bunch of posters and a bunch of shit. Yeah. I told them, look, we're gonna have this barbecue scene, which we did, and we fucking shot it. I shot that shit for $300 in an EBT card.
Look at all the Four Locals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you see a party with Four Locals now, it'd be a big concern.
So
Yeah.
you shot this video for 300 and some EBT. That's right.
Yeah, we used the
You cannot go wrong with the EBT.
we used the EBT to buy food and stuff, for the crew
Oh, for the
and for
carne
everybody else.
asada?
For the carne
Oh,
asada.
hell
Yeah.
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 That's what I'm talking about.
Sponsored by EBT.
Sponsored by the motherfucking government.
Yeah. It's just that's what filmmaking is about. It's just trying to figure it out and how to make it look dope and
So you
use the
always had a love for
resources.
music videos. It seems like, right?
Yeah, I mean, I remember like when I was in high school, like I used to record. I used to record like the music videos, that the behind the scenes stuff. So I've always been infatuated with just filmmaking in general. Movies, music videos. But I like those music videos that show story. This was my second.
Oh, this is the second one?
This is my second one.
How many hours would you say it would take you to edit a video when you first started? Has it changed?
It depends. No, I mean, I've edited videos in 24 hours, and I've edited videos that's taken me months.
Wow.
Is it all about like how you want to see it perfect, or?
No, I mean, like now I don't direct. I work with directors. Back then, I was like, I had a vision. I need to execute this vision, and I need to put it out as soon as possible. So I just wanted to do it as fast as possible. But like for example, I have a music video right now that we've been editing for almost a year, and it's not on me. It's just like the artist, the director.
Wow.
There's so many people involved in that process that visual effects has been taking forever, and it's just they want it so perfect that it just takes that long.
Wow.
So, but
And this is just a commercial, or you said a music video?
It was a music video, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that's the thing is like today, I feel like we're so in tune to trying to get content fast. Like it's a drive-through content.
And we're forgetting that it just takes time to perfect, art.
Yeah, sure. It's like really depends on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to show, right? Like I said, like just on this one, like I remember we planned for almost a month trying to find a house, trying to figure out like what the story was gonna be like, and try to cast and doing this and doing that, and sometimes it gets lost these days where everybody could just pick up a camera. You can pick up an iPhone, go outside and shoot a video, and you're done. You know.
Yeah.
Content creating has become very popular nowadays, right?
I wouldn't say it's become popular. It's become just another part of life. You know what I mean? It's like taking a phone call now.
Yeah.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean? That's
I feel like it's a lot of part of business now. It's like kind of like a mandatory thing for.
It's like a necessity almost, for anything.
yeah.
If you
I mean,
wanna,
I wouldn't say it's a necessity, right? Because water is a necessity.
right.
I don't need a music video, right? But I feel like it's more just culture, right? The culture
There you
changes
go.
constantly, and the culture these days is to do fast run and gun videos, right? Which back in the day, like in the Tupac days, you weren't able to do that because you had big ass cameras that were shooting on film, and they were super expensive to not only produce but to go into the editing bay. You know, so now it's like I said, you can get a phone and go shoot a video.
Do you think it's become more popular or more common because it's easier to get your hands on a camera and just put it on the internet now? You know, like
Yeah.
TikTok and Instagram and all the social media platforms. It's just so easy to upload some content within, like quickly, instead of like you were saying back in the days it would take.
Exactly, it's the process has become easier to make content and put it out there.
Now we have like the handheld device, right? So we have the phone
For
where
sure.
you can look at yourself on the camera and record yourself talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that definitely has changed the way content's being created now
Yeah.
and how fast.
Yeah.
that
Everything's
people-
content. I mean, you got content for everything. I just went to this.
We're creating content now.
I just went to this. It was like a carnival kind of thing, right? And I see like this group of señoras, right? And they all got their phones out and they're all on live and
On
they're all
Facebook
like,
Live.
they're all like recording their own
The
content. I was
tías.
like, what are these señoras doing? Like but they're recording their own content, and then that serves a purpose. I wouldn't say not only it's because there's two different contents, right? There's public content and there's private content, right? Content for your family, content for your friends and stuff that only a small group of people are going to watch, and then you have a mass majority of content where it's like you put it out there for public scrutiny, for public to actually see it and judge it and become a fan or become a hater. So
Yeah, that's true. So where did your career jump off where like you were like, you know what, I'm doing a lot of big jobs now? Like after you started working with the Chicano community.
I wouldn't.
Where
I
did
mean,
it
I
go?
wouldn't say that my career's jumped off because I'm not where I want to be. I mean, who does, right? But the Chicano culture definitely embraced me and definitely gave me a stepping stone to what I've been able to accomplish so far. Again, shout out to Jimmy from Urban Kings. He really opened the doors to allow me to work with a lot of his artists and also to all their artists, Midget, Chino, Dolly, Richard, all them fools, like they embraced me and this outsider because I'm not from no hood, I'm not. Yeah, I grew up in the streets and I had families in the hoods and shit like that, but I don't. I only know the life from an outside perspective, and now you have this fucking military grunt, fresh out of school, shooting videos for these hood dudes. You know what I mean? And they really embraced me to really come into the world and shoot their videos. And I wanted to be able to give them justice in that and really do something dope for them. And I feel like that. Like I said, it gave me a stepping stone to really bring something new to the culture. Because again, ain't nobody was doing shit like that. Like what I wanted to do for it. I got tired of seeing dudes against the wall rapping. So let's do something a little bit more creative.
More
Create a
visual.
mini movie.
Yeah,
more
for sure.
cinematic.
That's my goal. Is I want to shoot movies.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna shoot a movie with a music video, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna ask. When you say you're not where you want to be yet, where is it that you plan to take your career, or where is it that you plan to take your life?
When I got the studios calling me to go shoot their fucking $400 million movie, then I feel like I've made it.
So you want to really shoot high end movies.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
where you want to go.
Yeah.
That's a good goal.
And yeah, but I want to be able to. I feel like when I get there is when I say that I'm able to not only shoot bona fide movies, but I'm able to take care of my family and take care of people that I'm able to employ. Because that's for me is my high, is not only working and being on set, but being able to call my homies and be like, hey, I got a job, come work with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
That's
my
so
brother's
cool,
my
yeah.
AC. You know,
Oh wow, it's all family.
it's all family. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Family or friends. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of our guys they're either hood or military, so they're the hardest working people. So
And these are all people you've known, obviously, for
years.
For years.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna play one of his videos?
Yeah, I want to play some stuff on his.
I seen that you
YouTube.
did something for Nike.
I did a commercial for Nike during the pandemic that won us a Telly Award.
Wow, yeah, I seen
I've seen
that.
that
shot-
you won
I've
an
shot a few-
award.
yeah.
Was that what it's for? Was it for the Nike?
It was
commercial?
for the Telly commercial.
Yeah. And who gave you the award?
Telly.
Oh, Telly. I
Dude.
seen that. I was telling them, I was like, he has won an award for his
Yeah.
work.
What's that?
Oh, that's my reel.
This
So
is
it's-
what you filmed as well.
Yeah, it's like a jambalaya of just stuff that I've done, like throughout the years.
Have you done any films that have been like on Netflix or something yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done a few. Yeah, there was
Wow,
one
that's
called
so
Jack
awesome.
County. There was one called Navy SEALs versus Zombies.
Oh, that must have been
I
fun,
seen that.
right?
It was crazy. But yeah, that was on Netflix. You could find it at Walmart and stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah.
How awesome! Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
So, do you do like Netflix shows or movies often? Like,
I've had a few movies that go on Netflix, but I work more on the independent side, so it's roll the dice. We'll see where it
So
lands.
people
we'll see
just
where it
usually
goes.
call you to independent versus what? Like when you're signed to somebody? or
Yeah,
so-
so like what I mean by independent is like I don't work for a specific studio.
Oh, okay.
Right, like
Is that a goal of yours possibly, or no? You like being independent?
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
it's like it's like music.
Got it.
You know
okay.
what I mean? Like sometimes you work for Warner Brothers,
you're on a
and
record
sometimes you
label
work
or
on
you're
yeah.
not- yeah.
Sometimes I'm working for Sony. Sometimes I'm working for just some dude in a garage
Oh,
that
okay.
has a vision.
Got it.
So I like the independent side. Again, I don't judge and I don't say no to work. You know, it's whatever comes in and whatever's going to help me pay the bills, right? But I think it's a little bit more than that. Like I'm really trying to be creative and not just put anything on the TV. Like I'm really careful and well, careful is the wrong word. I want to be able to show something that my kids are later going to be like, man, Dad, what the fuck was that? Or that's my kids are my kids are my biggest fans, and that's fucking dope for me.
How many kids do you
Excuse
have?
my language.
It's
Sorry.
okay. How many kids do you have?
2.
Two. Okay. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you get jobs? Like, for example, how do your films or shows or whatever make it to Netflix? Is it like you have to have a hookup, or is it just you submit them like when you submit to a magazine? Or?
So for myself, I've done a few movies where we've tried to submit them to Netflix, and it's really just distribution, right? It's like making an album, right? You make an album and you want to get it to Sony or Warner Brothers. You're trying to get a record label to pick it up. Sometimes they don't pick it up, or sometimes
wow.
they do. Same thing with movies, right? And movies are tricky because you got to have a good actor that's going to be able to sell the movie, that's going to be able to return the money. Because if they're going to invest to put it on Netflix, they want to see some money behind it. You know,
Yeah.
they want to be able to make
So
money.
who
off of it.
invests to put the movie on Netflix? The actor?
No, it's a combination of different people. You know, it can sometimes be Netflix, or sometimes it's a group of producers that have a vision that, you know, have a distribution deal with Netflix or with any other distribution, you know, Hulu, Prime, you know, even Freevee or Tubi.
And so once they get paid out for that, they distribute money back to, like you were saying, actors are going to want money out of it, right?
For sure, but sometimes they don't even do that. Sometimes they'll be like, all right, we like your movie and we're going to pay you, I don't know, $100,000 and we own it.
Wow.
And that's it, you know. Again, it's
So once they own it, like you have no rights over it anymore, right?
sometimes you lose the rights.
But
Yeah.
you get the money.
But you get the money, yeah. So it's
It's a balance.
It's a
like,
balance. It's a gamble,
to gamble.
you know, because if I spend $40,000 on that movie and I get $100,000, dope, I made my money. But what if that movie
blows up
and they
and now
make
they
$10
own
million?
it.
Wow.
I don't get shit. And
That's
that
a
has
gamble.
been
Wow.
my biggest lesson making these independent movies is that sometimes you get fucked over.
Wow.
You know,
okay.
like for example, like that movie that I mentioned. We shot it and I made my money making it, but I didn't make off of any of the additional sales or anything like that.
Wow.
I also know that you have done a music video with Lefty and RJ, and I was like gonna ask you how was that and how did you get hooked up with that and how was it working with them?
It was dope. Well, I got introduced to Lefty by Rosecrans Vic with Brown Bag. I was producing their podcast for a while, and they introduced me. And Solis, his manager, like really liked our work, and he was like, "Man, we want you to shoot one of our videos. Like, pick one of out of the album." So I picked one where they're like, "We already shot the video for this." So I was like, "Fuck, man!" And I was like, "All right, well, let me pick another video. Or let me pick another song." So me and my boy, which directed it, we came up with this idea. They wanted to do something big, and Lefty was really he loved the Nipsey Hussle video that we did, which was kind of similar to his.
Oh, you did an Nipsey Hussle video.
Which one was it?
Last time that I checked, and
Oh, wow.
Hustle and Motivate, or where he's robbing the Brinks truck and he's getting chased by the cops. So he really loved that one. He's like, I want to do something like this.
Similar.
So we fucking shut down the 4th Street Bridge and had him getting chased by cops.
How'd you do that? What?
Damn, that's big. That went
That's
out big.
huge.
Yeah, and that's the thing that people don't understand. Like things are expensive when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like shutting the 4th Street Bridge is super expensive. Not to mention hiring the cops to allow you to do that.
Wow.
So
Wow. And you said helicopters too? No?
we did not. No, we did not.
I was like,
use
damn.
So how was
No.
it working on set with Lefty and RJ? What were they like?
Oh, they were dope. They were dope people. I mean, I've had so many bad experiences with different artists that it was refreshing to see some dudes that were just humble and they were having fun, which is dope. Like sometimes you'll work with artists that they're just annoyed being there, and
Yeah, like we don't want to say any names, but tell us a story about a bad experience that you had with working with someone. I know there's probably more than one, but maybe one that come out the top of your head.
yeah, I mean there's tons of times that I've just
It's a challenge.
it's a challenge to get them to do what you want them to do, or they just don't care, or it's just it's I'll give you an example. There was this one, he was a pretty big artist, and I actually found the money to produce his music video. And first of all, he was super fucking rude. Before he even say what's up to me, he was over there fucking yelling at people and shit, and fucking just
Big
being
artist?
super
Was a big artist?
He was a pretty big artist.
Oh, wow.
But again, they're
So
the
when you
artists.
got there, the vibe was already off.
The
You were
vibe
like-
was completely
He was
off.
yelling. He was being a dick.
He
to
was being a
people.
super dick, and then they fucking. Anyways, I'm not going to get into the details of it. But again, it gave me the opportunity to do something big, right? To put my name on it. That we produced it, we found the money. You can have all the attitude in the world.
Emotions to the side, back to business.
Let's just get to work and let's get it done and get them the fuck out of here so
Yeah.
that we can finish.
So after you started working with like celebrities and everything, when did you decide that movies was your passion?
Movies have always been my passion. Just music videos have been a vessel to get me there.
Was there ever a time that you felt that it wasn't for you, and what kept you going? Was there ever
All the time.
Yeah?
I feel like that all the time.
Each time, what uplifts you and what makes you not? Because there's a lot of people that are always going through challenges and they feel like it's not a possibility for them. What would you have to say for somebody that probably is going through that right now? And
it's you have that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you like, maybe fuck this, go do something else. Or I'm just tired. For me, I'm tired of starting over, and I've started over a lot. With one job to the next and trying to find something. And this job, this career that I'm in, has been the only thing where I actually feel like I'm in the right place.
regardless of how many times.
Regardless of how many bad experiences I've had, I always say I'm living the dream even on the bad days, because it beats getting shot at, right? It beats being in jail. It beats so many other worst case scenarios that I'm on set working with cameras, working with people that are my homies, are my family, working with celebrities, and just meeting new people. And but most importantly, like I get to do something that my kids are infatuated with. You know, that they
They are. Oh, that's
they
awesome.
see, and they like, my son, dude, is like, oh man, you're a YouTuber. You know, you have your YouTube. You know, it's just as juvenile and as small as that may seem, like that really gets me going. And even though like sometimes you may have that, like I said, that little voice in the back of your head is like, fuck this, go find something else. No,
There's always the other one that's saying, nah, hell no, keep going.
Keep going. Yeah, keep going, because you never know.
Well, thank you. You motivated me.
So before we wrap our show up today, we want to thank you for coming.
Oh, thank you for the invite.
I just want to ask you, where do you see your life going in the next 5 years, as far as everything, like your career, your family life, everything? Like if you can envision yourself in 5 years, what
like
would
I
it
said,
look like?
I see myself as a bona fide cinematographer. Hopefully I'll be in the union by then, and just continuing to shoot some dope movies so that people can watch my shit.
Hey.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your
you.
story.
Thank you so
It
much
was
for
a
the invite. I
pleasure.
really appreciate it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to do a toast before we end our show. Hey guys, so before we end the show, we did want to make a toast. Since it is the new year in 2025, I do want to say thank you to the whole team that made this possible for us to have this podcast. Shout out to Gangster Soul Harmony. Shout out to Pebbles Tattoos. Shout out to Belmonte Media.
Shout out to
and
you.
Shout out to all of our guests. And actually, big shout out to Echo
Thank you
for
so
coming
much.
today and spending the new year with us and starting our show off right.
For a year 2025 of success.
Yes. Who do you want to thank?
Yeah, cheers.
All of you, thank you.
Who do you want to thank, Echo?
Everybody, thank you.
Everybody.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah.
Cheers. Cheers from far away.
Thank you and Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.